from the break. Now, what I'm doing here, let me recap. I'm using my triggers to bring up orchestral percussion patches. Creating space. It's a whole different feeling, a whole different set of values in the sense that if you're watching this drum show for the sake of drums, I'm not talking about drum kit per se in a band. I'm actually talking about much more the orchestral side of things. And I'm talking about quite a few people that are quite influential in this kind of genre. Stravinsky has always been huge with percussion, especially during the big three Russian pieces, Firebird, Petrushka, and Le Sacre du Printemps, meaning the Rite of Spring. Go get the Rite of Spring, just listen to it. Listen to the percussion, it's brilliant. And then even later, The Soldier's Tale, Le Histoire du Soldat, things like that. Lots of percussion in that. And then Edgard Varese with Ionization, and many of his other pieces, but Ionization is a brilliant piece. He is Frank Zappa's favourite composer, so that was my, as I said earlier, my gateway drug to to classical music. And then if I continue with the timeline, a few years later a very young John Cage started up, and he was quite percussive as well, but he's probably more infamous for his 4:33, his 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. For that he was trying to prove a point, but it became quite controversial and all that, and he's more remembered for that. Sometimes I wonder if it did him more harm than good to do that. I did a show on that way back in 2012 that is on my YouTube site if you want to check it out. It was on television a few years ago. And there you have it. Lots of things like that. One thing about John Cage, he also brought improvisation into classical music. He would set up a set of parameters and the percussionist would improvise within it, sort of thing. And things like that kept on going. You had people like Steve Reich. I haven't mentioned him this episode, but I mentioned him last episode. Minimalist composer who's brilliant at what he does. And I brought up a little thing last episode, and I'll bring it up now. It's a little, he calls it phasing, and I fell into it, unison playing. It came from a mistake, doing that, and then it rolls out into a single stroke roll. Bring it back in. Phase out. Tone phases out. Phases. Please come in. I'm on my way to a new piece of music for you, but I'm stopping there because tonight's episode I'm more explaining it than I am playing them, unless I keep them very short. So that's what goes on. That's something there for you. I hope you're getting something out of the show. Make you think in very different ways. Start with the rock beat. See? That's it. Watch me change it. Still hear the rock beat because I've framed it for you. Blurring it now. Polyrhythm. Phase out the polyrhythm. Bring in the bass drum. the finish. There you go. All right. My name is Chris Quinlan. It's the Drum Show. Classical percussion patches, I suppose, because what I'm doing is with my triggers tonight, I'm utilising more of very much a classical bent on this. I hope you're getting something out of it. And here we go. So that's that show there. And next one's on the way, hey? My name's Chris Quinlan, as I said. Drum Show. See you next week. Bye-bye.